Hey everybody, it's Glimmer, and welcome back to another Premier Draft of Duskmourn House of Horror. Without further ado, let's pack one, pick one, our sweet rare. Waltz of Rage is a really disgusting card. You get to have one of your creatures deal damage equal to its power to every other creature on the board, so it can often be a one-sided board wipe, leaving your best creature around on the board. So really, really stupid card. Even if you end up blowing up a bunch of your own cards, you get to exile cards from the top of your library and play them until your next turn for everything that you killed. So you still draw a card off of everything that you killed on your own board. So basically always a board wipe that's in your favor. The only thing that can go wrong with it is if they blow up your target creature in response to you casting this, but you can try to just avoid that by making sure they're tapped out when you go for this kind of play. So start with the ridiculous bomb rare and see where to go from here. Ooh, mythic in the same color? Honestly, this is not really mythic worthy, but it is still a very, very good card. This is very efficient removal. This is a format you can absolutely make it to Delirium, in which case this is 1 mana, 6 damage to a creature at instant speed. No matter what, it's 1 mana, 2 damage at instant speed, which is already good, so I really don't mind the Unholy Heat here. The main alternative would be the Fear of Isolation, which plays super well with any rooms with good enter the battlefield effects or good unlock abilities. You play a room, spit out the creature it makes, then pick it up with the Fear of Isolation, play it again. I do think Fear of Isolation is very good. I've pack one, picked one it before, and I would be happy to do it generally, but when our first card is a Waltz of Rage, super happy to just take excellent on-color removal. Pick 3 now. We can move towards green-red Delirium aggro. That'd be a decent spot for Waltz of Rage because that's where we can get the biggest creatures to use this on. So we could do like the Zealot for ramp or just the Flesh Burrower for Death Touch. Flesh Burrower plus Waltz of Rage is kind of funny because we're dealing Death Touch damage to every other creature. So maybe green-red with a bunch of 2 mana 2/2 Death Touchers is also a pretty awesome spot for this card. I don't think anything in this pack is that premium, honestly. Although Most Valuable Slayer has been actually really impressive in any aggressive red deck. It's really good at helping get damage in. So maybe I could just stick to that. We love it in pretty much any red deck in the format. But the Flesh Burrower Waltz of Rage combo does sound kind of funny to me. Yeah, and there's also the upside of by ending up in green, we're going to have a bunch of big green creatures, which also play well with Waltz of Rage. So maybe head in that direction off the Flesh Burrower. Pick 4, Rootwise Survivor's fine for more aggressive green decks. Get your haste damage in and start turning a land into a big beat stick. It's got 4 toughness and haste, which makes it one of the best cards at actually getting the survival trigger, actually sticking around and being tapped in the second main phase. I'm going to go for it. Pick 5. It's a late Inquisitive Glimmer. I passed one earlier, though, so somebody on the left's going to scoop that up and be in blue-white, and then we're going to get nothing in pack 2. But if everybody on our right's going to pass us stuff like this, that's still a potential reason to go into that archetype. And the only cards for green-red aggro is filler. Threats around every corner is great for slower green decks that are wanting the fixing in the ramp, but it's not really where we want to be. I think green-red, Waltz of Rage. I guess we could be. Just haven't been a huge fan of the slower green decks. I'm taking the speculative pick. Taking that Glimmer. Wow. Roaring Furnace, Steaming Sauna, pick 6? I guess speculating green was just wrong here. Should have been blue. Go towards Jeskai. Also a piggy bank, that'd be pretty awesome in any red deck. So I'm happy to see that pick 6, but I kind of think I have to pass it for this Roaring Furnace Steaming Sauna. This card is very, very, very good. It's your 2 mana deal 3 or 4 removal if it's in your opening hand, and then it's also attached to a big card draw engine. If you top deck it in the late game, you just play the card draw engine. What the heck is going on? You know what I'm saying? We can go blue-white and splash red for the Roaring Furnace. Always have access to Steaming Sauna, and whenever we have red, have the furnace itself. Okay, pick 7 Inquisitive Glimmer. Pick 8 Flood Pits Drowner? Blue-based Tempo is just living in magical Christmas land. Pick 9, exactly as I expected. Somebody takes the Glimmer. I think it was in our opening pack, right? This is where the Glimmer was. So we're going to be fighting somebody for the blue-white stuff in pack 2, but pick 8 Drowner, pick 7 Glimmer, super late Roaring Furnace. We should be in a pretty good spot to beat Jeskai enchantments regardless. That said, I'm not going to be excited about any of this in Jeskai enchantments, so I'm going to take the Razorkin for if we end up some other red deck. Instead of like blue-white at the core. Pick 10, not going to love any of this. Don't Make a Sound would be fine. If we go heavy blue, which it looks like the way this draft is going, we're going to go heavy blue. Yep. Let's see what we got in pack 2. Crazy late Glimmers, not a lot of other white. Certainly tons of blue. Sauna and Drowner, pretty late. All the counter spells like last pick, pretty much. Let's see. Blue-white, take a couple duels, and these both only cost a single red to splash in. I mean, the really splashable part is the Roaring Furnace. Because again, when you're not hitting your splash color, you're still being able to cast the Steaming Sauna, which isn't quite worth a whole card. It's a bit slow. But it does make up for the times when you don't hit your splash color. So the card's just going to be incredibly good when you hit the splash and still super playable when you don't. I mean, with 2 copies of Glimmer, making this 4 mana to draw an extra card every turn, it might be worth it. Even without Furnace. Let's go open up a white rare. White did seem a lot more contested, so we take the good white cards early and wheel all the blue stuff. Looks like a good spot to be. Reluctant Role Model, a 2-mana 2/2. You do need to get survival triggers with it, so it is a little sketchy. You gotta have some good tempo plays to bounce things and stun things and make sure you can get an attack or 2 in. But the nice thing about this one is if it gets 1 attack in, you give it flying, and then that makes it a lot easier to get future survival triggers. And whenever it dies, you get all the counters you stack up onto it onto another one of your creatures. So pretty absurd card. Optimistic Scavenger, another pretty absurd card. Very good in the double Inquisitive Glimmer kind of blue-white archetype that's playing just a bunch of enchantments. Definitely where we want to be. So I'm going to take the Scavenger. If we're super lucky, we could wheel the Surgical Suite and Hospital Room, a card that is like a 10 out of 10 in this archetype, and like a 1 out of 10 in like Black-White Reanimator. Like, there's some white decks that really don't want this card, and some white decks that really do want this card. It depends on what the other white decks in the draft pot have. Hopefully, the other white decks don't want it, but somebody probably will. I doubt we'll get it back. Pick 3, Overlord of the Baelmerk. Well, sorry, Black, but we took a bunch of late Glimmers. We're definitely blue-white. That said, there is literally nothing here for blue-white, so I am just going to ruin the Black Drafter's day. Make sure they don't randomly get that. So Grand Entryway is ridiculous with eerie triggers like Optimistic Scavenger, because the Grand Entryway is both an enchantment itself and making a Glimmer token that's an enchantment. So that is a double eerie trigger off of the entryway. Then when you unlock the Elegant Rotunda, you get a 3rd eerie trigger. Super good card in blue-white in particular, and here's another copy. Join the party. I want to play Marina at some point, but I had like my last couple decks, I had like a green black delirium-y thing that had tons of fixing available, and then I had like a green blue thing with tons of fixing available. Don't never see her when I'm doing those drafts. It's always when I'm a nice 2-color streamlined aggro deck. Sorry, Marina. We gotta be Team 2-color right now. Maybe I should have taken Evolving Wilds towards getting the mountain for Furnace there. My god. I will literally play every copy of Grand Entryway that gets passed to me. That's not entirely true. There's plenty of cards I would take over it, but I will play every copy that I draft in this deck. We have exclusively 2-mana plays. That's so funny. Even the counter spells at 2. Okay, I don't really think we can have a 6-mana removal spell with the way our curve looks here. We're probably like a 15 land, like 3 mana is the maximum on curve kind of deck. But the only other options are playing Cycler. Yeah, I guess I'm just taking this. Because, like, well, I'm not going to cast a 6-mana 4/5 flyer either at this rate. If everything's 2 mana, so either card's going to look real awkward here. Alright, all I need is just a bunch of filler creatures at like 3-4 mana for the deck to be playable. If I want the deck to be like good, then we should find some more removal for things that have actually resolved. Outside of like the 6-mana removal. I guess Seized from Slumber kind of counts. It'd be a bit expensive if we're trying to use it on an untapped creature. I'll take the Lighthouse here over Creepy Peepee. Creepy Peepee would just be the worst 2-drop out of everything we drafted here, and I don't want to play infinite 2-mana cards, so we'll play this to help get to the Furnace. Oh, what if I just resolve 2-drops and then hold up Twist Realities? I guess that's where I'm at right now, if I just can't find 3 and 4 mana creatures. Or removal spells. Play a bunch of 1 and 2 mana creatures and then hold up counter spells. Weird deck is weird. Gonna play any of that. How many playables I need? 8 more playables in the last pack. Probably do it. Hey, the fixing's getting there. I don't even have to run a single mountain to play this Roaring Furnace now. Alright, pack 3, pick 1. I need a good, solid, playable creature basically every pick. Feeling Tunnel Surveyor here. Immediate impact on the board, multiple bodies. Multiple bodies gives me more things to use Elegant Rotunda counters onto and stuff. Definitely not slow enough for Ghost Vacuum. 6 mana is a ton for this deck. But the Unwilling Vessel is competing. It's good if you put it out before you do a bunch of enchantment stuff. I just feel like the Tunnel Surveyor is more consistently good. The Orphans of the Wheat is also good here. We can use that to make sure the role model stays tapped. And then the Fear of Immobility is going to be an excellent 5-drop at the very top of the curve. Stunning something, getting extra damage, and being an enchantment itself. We also have 2 Glimmers. This could only be 4 mana. You know what? I'll take Fear of Immobility here. So we can cast it for 4 anytime we have a Glimmer. Makes it even cheaper on the curve. We need good ways to deal with threats that have actually resolved. So a Seized from Slumber or Stay Hidden, Stay Silent looks awesome here. I'm going to take Stay Hidden, Stay Silent as an enchantment that also works as a removal. Means it's super cheap with Glimmer. It triggers Scavenger's Eerie. I think it's just better than Seized from Slumber for this deck. So we'll take that. Pack 3, pick 3. Alright, Split Skin Doll. I have tons of power to or less creatures. Just a 2-mana, 2/1 draw card. That looks great. This pack's going so far so good. We're not manifesting Dread at all, so sorry, Paranormal Analyst. Do I really have to take my 50th 2-mana creature? I feel like Acrobatic Cheerleader is generally so much better than Clammy Prowler. This is another enchantment creature, and it's only 3 mana with a Glimmer on board. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays for 2 mana. Yeah, I'm gonna just take more higher up on the curve, I guess. Pick 5. Alright, get a 3-drop on the curve. Just 3 mana, 2/1 double strike to get in there. No, like, synergy, but we've got a lot of ways to put +1/+1 counters on it, which is decent. If you put a +1/+1 counter onto something that has a -1/-1 counter on it, you just remove one of those -1/-1s. So either way, you know, we're buffing it up, getting it ready for bigger double strike attacks. Could be sweet. Could take Campground. It's fine when we're trying to splash a little red. And I'd play this and put a mountain in. I honestly just think these two is enough for the furnace. We can just play the sauna. I think I need more fixing. Let's grab a friendly ghost. Get more good creatures in the curve. And I'm happy I did, because that might have been my last opportunity. We'll see. Kind of. Lighthouse better than Expanse. Yeah, because I'm not going to take a researcher here. Okay, well, we got the Unwilling Vessel. Oh, and the Tunnel Surveyor back. Make me pick between these two. They're both potentially pretty good. I do agree with Arena. I think Surveyor's just so much more consistent. Okay, Unsettling Twins is awesome. All right, wow, this really worked out well. Hold up. Okay, I'll play a Bear Trap over like a third Twist Reality. But I think the deck is ready. Like, we're playing 16 lands here, so it's already 3 lands in. That's 24 non-land cards and 16 lands. It's ready. We don't even have to do any deck building here, because all this towards red. The deck's good. It's all ready. We are on the blue-white pivot here with the Roaring Furnace Splash. Looks like an awesome spot to be. We're just going to play a bunch of islands and plains. We've got 3 red sources for the 1 half-red card. We'll call it a deck here. Go straight from the draft directly into the gameplay. Alright, here we are on the draw for game 1. Reluctant Role Model, certainly weaker on the draw than on the play, so I'm a little bummed about that. But the hand's pretty good. Outside of that, we've got good mana. The Drowner's going to be a great tempo play. They can also try to help get the Role Model in. Do need to make it up to 4 mana, but we're at 3 now, so we've got a decent start to that, thanks to being on the draw as well. Swamp Cycle from our opponent on turn 2. They are black-white. That is a reanimation-heavy color pair, so you can play all of the common land cyclers to make sure there's something in your graveyard to reanimate. Usually, like, ideally, you want to end up reanimating something a little scarier than just a land cycler, but they're really good for making sure the deck is consistent. So even if you don't open anything particularly good, you can still get the land cyclers. I'm just going to go for flying first. That makes it the most likely to be able to get in on future swings, even if I could get more damage by putting a counter on it. I want to make sure it's getting as many counters over time as possible. Well, if I just sit here and hold up a counterspell to protect this thing, honestly, I'm in a pretty good position, so I'm just going to do that for now. As long as my opponent's not doing anything, I'm pretty fine to also not. It's annoying enough. Just counter that. And I'm not really worried about the life gain here. Considering I'm already just super winning the race. But I'm going to put some more creatures on board now that I'm not holding up a counter spell. This way, even if the role model dies, it has something to put its counters onto. Now that I can't protect it anymore. So I'm going to do that over playing the Steaming Sauna. I know I could start drawing a bunch of cards, but... Alright. Grand Entryway, Elegant Rotunda is the draw. That is super cheap if I flip this up. I need a blue for that. So Drown the Fear. The most mana efficient thing would be I can flip this up and Entryway for 1 now. Pretty beautiful. Basically, if they don't board wipe me, they're looking pretty dead. And they are pretty dead. Pretty beautiful stuff from the deck game 1. A lot of that was our opponent having a really awkward curve. I mean, they didn't do anything till like turn 5. Pretty rough for them, but we'll take it. We start things off 1-0, heading into game 2. All right, game 2 on the draw again. We got that Flood Pits Drowner again. Great mana, multiple removal spells for later. Green, blue from opponent. All right, pass through turn 1. Just play a 1/1 here. I think they have the 2-mana Manifest Dread enchantment. Feels the most likely. Some instant that's holding up at every single step. Oh, it's a Flood Pits Drowner, okay. That is super fine, they just use that on a 1/1. Flytrap is less fine, but it doesn't do anything until they have Delirium. I like Role Model as a draw. It will be difficult to actually get it in. Get it past the Flytrap. There is no mana efficient play this turn. So I guess it's fine to just start it out here. Because then next turn I can use Flood Pits Drowner and stay hidden, stay silent. I can stun whatever I don't really care about killing and then stay hidden the one that I do. That might be able to get a Role Model attack in. Probably not. If they play any creature here, definitely not, but we'll see. Alright, unable to scream certainly works. No attacks in then. An Overgrown Zealot, okay. 0 power creature. I like seeing that. So I've got the 1/1 to kill the Drowner. The only thing I really need to deal with is the Flytrap, and I can easily do that with Seized from Slumber. Saving my 2 mana for my Flood Pits Drowner. And we're kind of just hanging out until somebody draws or plays something scary. Because now both the rares have been dealt with. They dealt with my Role Model, I dealt with the Flytrap, and now we're just hanging out. Fear of Isolation. Well, that's pretty good on Flood Pits Drowner. Probably just Bear Trap that. I guess I can stay hidden it, and then next turn I do have the mana to Manifest Dread, shuffle the Fear of Isolation back into their deck. I kind of don't hate that, and I can hold up the Bear Trap the whole time, because I'm not going to open up the Rotunda. Just have a 2/2 and a 1/3. I guess I use this. Now I Bear Trap the Drowner. And then next turn shuffle Fear of Isolation back to get a 2/2. If they play another threat, I can always use my Drowner to shuffle their other threat back in. Oh man. God, that's frustrating. That's disgustingly good against enchantment-based removal. The double Fear of Isolation in their hand this early. In the top 12. Well, I stand by the Stay Hidden, Stay Silent line as generally being a pretty good game plan there. It's just just if they specifically have another Fear of Isolation, it's kind of sucks. This game as a whole is pretty annoying. It doesn't feel like anybody's really accomplishing much of anything, but we're definitely falling behind anyway. With plays like the Fear of Isolation, just 2-for-1 us, kill our removal spell. Without spending a card to do it. Sure. Fine with just getting the stun. Alright, well. 4-3 split skin the whole time. A 4-3 is really good at attacking in right now. I guess role model just bounces off the zealot anyway. Since they can't block the 4 damage with the zealot, might as well only send in the doll. Under the skin. That's super good here, isn't it? Yep. Pick up the fly trap. Yikes. They can immediately recast it. Does it trigger when it enters? Ah, it triggers when it enters. God dang it. Okay, now we are actively dying because green gets to recur their bomb rares 500 times. If I don't exile it or shuffle it back in, there's plenty of like even commons they could draw into that'll just pick up the fly trap again. The say its name picks up any creature in your graveyard. This uncommon under the skin picks up any permanent in your grave. 2+1/+1 counters on an attack here. I mean, I guess. I need to make sure that I have 7 power on blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I just put 1 counter somewhere, and then that's 7 power on blocks. Alright, get the 2-for-1 trade. Clear out some of the board. There's more removal from our opponent. So I can't kill fly trap, so it's just gonna snowball as it does. 2 counters now means now there's no way I'm blocking in the future. Damage in the sky now. really not even as good as the fly trap here. It's basically just a 6-5. The spitting out lands thing isn't really doing anything this late. It does still suck that they're finding more threats, but it's better than them top decking like the common 7-6 trample or something. Oh, they're gonna let us actually kill it here. I don't even lose my whole board. Okay. Need removal for the flyer or it's ogre. Sick. At least the land comes into play untapped. I don't know what I would do without it. Here we are for game 3. We are 1-1 after a pretty boring, drawn-out loss. For game 2, just one of those games where you end up a little bit behind in a top deck war early, so you have to sit there and watch yourself slowly die for 10 turns. The most depressing games of Magic. And we're starting out game number 3, already flooded. 5 lands in already. So we kept a 4-lander and drew land. Now we're 6 lands deep. Maybe a better position than our opponent. We'll see. Because they are on the opposite end of the spectrum over there. Swamp, and nothing else turn 3. Ooh, they have the non-full art Duskmourn basic. Those are actually kind of sweet. Very cool artwork. I don't know if I've ever paid attention to those before. Oh wow, they have to 2-for-1 themselves to kill our 2-1. Yeah, we might actually be in a better position than them, surprisingly. Oh no, don't make a sound is really nasty here. I can't... Oh, it's too late. I'm so dumb. I forgot this buffs on the attack. I was going to say, I can't imagine them going land 3-drop is going to be so bad for me that I would rather hold up the counterspell. But I guess I'm holding up the counterspell. Because I forgot that I need to play Casper pre-combat. They need a castable 2-drop or they're dead on board doing that. Exercise to exile our enchantment. Yep. Take 4, go to 2 life. We're about to have the world's cheapest enchantments, if it matters. The only board wipe I remember in their color pair is destroy everything with 3 or more power, so we can drop everything and not worry about it. And they did not have the board wipe, alright. Kind of an awkward, floody hand there, but our opponent had just even worse hand. They could not find mana for the life of them, and 2-1 it is. Kind of an awkward draft overall so far. The gameplay rounds have not been super fair, super exciting so far. Hopefully we turn that around and get some pretty good games as we head into game number 4. Here we are on the play for game number 4. The lack of a blue source is probably enough to force a mulligan here. There's one castable spell. That castable spell does dig for the blue source, but by drawing a card and discarding a card, I don't even get the full card draw off the doll. Yeah, I'll take them all. There we go. All of our colors. There's a lot of removal, actually. Go to the bear trap. I Fear of Immobility seized from Slumber combo. It's kind of cute. Although I guess by the time I can cast the Fear of Immobility, I already have the 5 for seized from Slumber anyway. Unless we find one of our Glimmers. Ooh, hello there, 2/2 Veteran Survivor. 1/1's played really well against you. However, I drew a Reluctant role model, so I have to play that. And try to snowball it. Just roll down the hill, get bigger and bigger and bigger. No shot! Oh my god! Okay, I still have 1/1s. Still have 1/1s. This could be okay. This card wins every race in the history of every game of Magic ever. Unless you can block it well. They put it on a 1 toughness card. So now it doesn't get to do anything. For a while. Now the plaything's gonna rip me apart though. And I need 7 mana to kill this if they leave it untapped. Shoot. Well, we can Fear of Immobility the plaything. Off of another land. That is not a... What? What is that sound every time I draw a card? Some weird sound effect going on. Oh, shoot, I want triple blue and 1 white. That is not good for this. We have 5 white spells to play right now? Oh, that's what it is. Weird sounds. Well... Man, I mean, Veteran Survivor's never going to be tapped again with all these 1/1s on my board, so I guess I am just seizing the plaything. We want to wait till we have double white so I can play Scavenger and then start unlocking the Rotundas. My rooms are so excited. Every phase moving is making my rooms make audio. I don't know why. I guess not every phase, but most of them. Yeah, see, there it goes again. Well, now I can play Scavenger and actually hold up something for the rest of the mana. This audio is so silly. Yeah, I probably should have just let that resolve. It just kills a Glimmer. Yeah, no, that was wrong. Oh, that explains why they did it. The double up. Okay. Yeah, I guess this plays the same. I would have just let the first one resolve, and then when the second happened, I would be like, uh-oh. Actually, I don't even know. Maybe I would have just actually let both resolve. Or should have. I probably should have just let both resolve. Okay, this is the stun. This is the counter. Vicious. But if I attack everybody and then they just swing in with no follow through and then I spit out a 2/2 and trade into Survivor, that is game winning. It's probably a bad idea, but here we go. I mean, they know I have something, otherwise I would have used an Elegant Rotunda. Alright. wipe your board and put 2 more +1/+1 counters on mine. Or let the role model go ham. Alright, that looks game-winning to me. But we'll see what follow-through they have. I've got 10 power on board. There's their own role model. Don't make a sound. Alright, well that's going to be a surveil too. Yeah. 10 damage twice in a row is lethal. I'm going to go for it. Which I guess lets them put lifelink on the role model. Might be slightly bold. Yep, lifelink on the role model. Please be too cheap. Or sorry, please be too expensive. Please be too expensive. Oh. Okay. Well. Our opponent chooses death instead of chump blocking with reluctant role model. Fair enough. Almost jinxed myself with that please be too cheap. I was hoping their instant was going to be too expensive for them to be able to pay the 2 for don't make a sound. Almost jinxed myself, but they had nothing. Okay. We drew better than our opponent in the end game, so we get there. The one play of the game was the really risky attack of like, yeah, I'm going to make it really obvious I have something at instant speed, but hopefully they don't play around this. And then they didn't play around that. And we managed to trade off into the 3/1 and get our bomb creature back. That was like, well, if you don't block this creature, it's going to get flying and lifelink and just kill you. But if you do block it, you're going to lose your whole board, and mine's going to stay just as big with those +1/+1 counters. So very, very happy with how that Manifest Dread instant turn went for us. Now we are on the play, just curving out and then holding up a counterspell once we have all our threats on board. Golgari from our opponent. What a bunch of gold garbage. Emergence, my Glimmer. Rude. I would like another blue source, so I can play Stay Hidden, Stay Silent, and hold up Don't Make a Sound. But I probably would rather draw more creatures than that for now. Just would have liked the blue source over the plains. Okay, now I actually do really, really, really want the blue source, because Twist Reality is really bad without double blue. Oh, nice! Our 2/2 traded into a 5/4. Seems decent. Yep, so they're on all spells right now. If they take that manifested trade and they also land cycle this, they are definitely all spells. Yeah. Land cycle plus Altenac here. Well, I can't twist reality, but I can don't make a sound, which is something. Thick. Surprised they went for that sorcery speed. Not that it mattered since I had the counter already. Valgavoth's Faithful. I think I have to let that resolve, and then they tap out to get the thing, and then I stay hidden it. And then we top deck an island, and we can't lose? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Draw your card. I can still lose, though. Let's be fair. I'm just in a pretty good spot. Something expensive, something expensive, something expensive. Exactly cheap enough. I could stop them from doing anything else, but they just get a 2/2 on board. That's fine. Because even if I make them spend the 2, that's enough for them to not die on this swing. No, if I cast Don't Make a Sound and then top deck the Slumber here, they're tapped out, I blow this up and they're dead. But now they've got 2 mana for something, maybe? Okay, they have nothing. Looks like it didn't matter, but it would have been so safe if we did Don't Make a Sound there and then top deck the removal. I wasn't thinking about that outcome, that we have like 5 mana removal spells in the deck. That might have been worth doing the Don't Make a Sound. For that off chance, then it's just guaranteed lethal if we hit any of the removal, because they are tapped out. Alright, well, the last few games have gone really, really well. I think we're, what, 4-1 now? But I think it's less that our deck has been playing super well. Yeah, like we've had tons of like really awkward hands like this. It's just that our opponents' decks have been playing miserably. They've had even more awkward hands than us. Beautiful draw. My Piranha is officially unable to scream. I think I want to hear a Piranha scream. That would be very screechy. I have like infinite counterspells right now. I would like to hopefully wait till I have 4 mana, and then I can play a Split Skin Doll and still have Don't Make a Sound up, which is pretty sick. That's not a 4th mana. Playing against blue-red. Can't imagine I can tap out here. So they play the Misty Thingy-mabob. Not the Misty thing, the Smoky Lounge. We really need to stop that. Arena, please. I am in the market for mana. I'd rather counter the good rooms than counter the Soul Rager, because I have removal that can kill the Soul Rager, such as Bear Trap. Cool. Yo, I swear to God. Split Skin Doll, give me the land. I have no more patience for this. Yikes. I hate this game. Literally exactly 1 turn too late. I'll find the land. If I didn't play the doll, the land would have been like 5 cards deeper. The only reason the land was there was so that I could get punished exactly in time, and Arena could laugh at me. Now they have the exactly 2 to pay for the Don't Make a Sound and draw the card off the entity tracker. Their own Don't Make a Sound here. I think I have to play around them having their own copy of Don't Make a Sound. Okay, and they don't. This is not my kind of game of Magic. I'm going to completely lose my mind here. This back and forth. Wow, that Skull Claw is... actually just like a must kill. And I used my only removal. I mean, the pace of the game here dictates that the Skull Crab is going to mill me out. Hello, Nico. It's just how it would be, wouldn't it? Since the game's slow enough that I have to counter Skull Crab, they'll have the Nico to get through past it. Yeah, Nico's insanely good, because even if you kill Nico right after they've resolved, they get to draw 2 extra cards. So Nico's kind of like exactly the kind of threat that you have to specifically counter to stop your opponent from getting good value. So just maximum punished. Maximum punished for playing the split skin doll the turn I did, and maximum punished for countering the crab. 2 for 2 on maximum punishment, maximum bummers this game. Got nothing to deal with Nico. And then Nico gets to make all of their enchantments a copy of something else. All of their shards. Okay, so I guess Nico is mainly just a 3-4. At this point, I've already gotten the good value off of them. God, our opponent is actually drawing lands, so Don't Make a Sound's pretty much completely useless at this point. Yeah. I don't even know what we're supposed to do here. All I know is that this sucks. And I'm pretty sure we're just too far behind. Gonna be like a repeat of our first loss where we're just gonna be behind in a losing position, but still take like 10 turns to die. The worst kind of loss. Where are your rooms? You've got 2 intruding Soul Ragers? 0 rooms, 26 cards deep. What the heck is going on? Terrible auto tap. But I don't think it matters. We're not going to play the entryway plus Rotunda. Regardless, yeah, we're just playing a Prowler and a Plaything and passing. I don't know, I guess I can just hold up to make up the sound at this point. Turn out the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. Okay, so they actually do still get value off of Nico. They don't get to turn all their shards into copies of stuff, but they get to flicker anything with a good enter effect. Luckily, they don't have any creatures with good enter effects. Well, yeah, they can like manifest a spell and then flicker that. They found a room! 27 cards in, they found one room for their double Soul Rager. Oh, gotta love how they didn't technically cast a spell there somehow. Wait, did I just click super fast? They cast a ticket booth, right? Yeah, it's just they have infinite mana, so doesn't matter. Can I get the remote from click? Can I fast forward this part? You all can play it at 2 times speed, I can't. Did they hit another spell? Yup. Haunted Screen for more Nico value. Unlock the Tunnel of Hate for double strike attacks every turn. 10 cards left in the deck. So they are not going to mill out by the time they kill me. All this double strike. Especially with the Haunted Screen, it's going to be a 7/7 double striker. Even if I can technically block the vessel with enough stuff to kill it, if I do kill it, I have to deal with a 3/3 flying double strike, which just kills me faster. At this point, I'm just curious to see how many rooms are in their deck. They're more than 3/4 of the way through, and they have a single room with 2 copies of Intruding Soul Rager. I want to see the rooms. I'm all about the rooms, and I'm so disappointed in you right now, opponent. Show me the rooms! Oh, nice, unblockable with the Clammy Prowler. That'll do it. Take 14 and then get shot by a Soul Rager. The double Soul Rager 1-room combo actually lethaling me here. Oh. Alright. 4-2. Heading into game 7. Don't end me. Free me from this realm. At least they let me counter something, that's fun. Don't make a sound work. Alright, here we are on the play for game number 7. We're 4-2 right now, so we are breaking even no matter what. But I'd love to get at least one more win here to leave with some more gems. Plus, I think we've had, well, not a rough couple games. Just last game was pretty rough, so I'd like to see if we can get a win here. Get some revenge on somebody who's completely unrelated to our last loss. You know how it is. Don't make a sound, Glimmer Seeker. I want that. I want that carnival. It's my second white source and my red source for Roaring Furnace. Well, welcome back, Glimmer Seeker. At least it's just in the hand. Oh, no. Chainsaw is Scorching Dragonfire on all of the illicit substances. 2 mana, 3 damage to a creature, and every time any creature dies for the rest of the game, you rev up the chainsaw, and the equipped creature gets +X +O, where X is the number of rev counters on it, so it ends up being like +6, +7, +O. Card is completely broken in half. So I'm gonna have to twist that reality real quick. Fear of Surveillance is still really good for our opponent. Scavenger on board. Surprised they buffed the Scavenger, though. There's a Glimmer. But I need it in my hand for now. So I can kill the Scavenger off of the red source. And then... just holding up the counter spell again. That was a good turn to hold up counter. Opponent's deck is loaded. Countered a chainsaw and a fly trap. I think we lost against a fly trap earlier this draft. Yeah, it might have even been the same deck. Not exactly, but they played it and they got to like under the skin it back, if I remember right. Is the +1/+1 hexproof? Oh, +2/+2 flying, sure. Reluctant role model. Well, more counters to hold up, so let's get that. Oh, I don't have double white somehow still. Quadruple blue. Single white. That's really awkward. If I had known I couldn't double spell here, I probably would have just unlocked the sauna. Gross. Exile my bomb and get a 2/2 flying vehicle at the same time. I don't even think I can get it back. I just like manifest, right? Yeah, I just manifest if I kill that. I don't even get the thing back. If this were an untapped land, I could play Glimmer and unlock this. Sadness on the stack. Solid draw. Wait. Oh, that's my 5th blue source? Okay, it's not a good draw unless I have another white mana. Man, I am so sick of rare vehicles with survival cards. That's why the vehicles are rare in this set, is because vehicles plus survival is busted. It's a very consistent, guaranteed way to get the survival triggers every turn. Yeah, and the savior just picks up the other survival card. Well, at least they have to just like crew the hover ship and not attack with it now. But the problem is they can crew every survival creature on their board. Because you're allowed to overkill your crew. So they can have both their survival creatures be tapped, pick up their freaking fly trap. Yeah, we're just getting bodied by hover ship plus survival. I don't know what it is about survival. It's just the most irritating mechanic in any draft format this year to me for some reason. I'm probably forgetting some kind of mechanic that was actually like everybody hated it. But survival really frustrates me. Awkward thing is, at this point, they could like crew the hover ship and double block this Glimmer, and that's not even that bad for them. They won't be able to do the survival nonsense as easily anymore, but they don't really need to because now they have the hover or not the hover ship, the fly trap. Let's get demolished by the combat trick. Oh my god, even if I don't, the Savior just puts the Glimmer Seeker back in their hand anyway. Six. Nothing in the deck list turns this game around. I'm gonna end my suffering. 4 and 3, it is still breaking even on gems here. So if we go 4-3 every draft for the rest of time, we'll be able to go infinite. It's not technically quite breaking even. You spend 1,500 to play, so getting 1,400 back means that you are down 100 gems, but you do get 20 gems for every rare you draft if you have a full play set. So if you value each rare at 20 gems, then 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, we're at 1,500 worth of value because we drafted 5 rares, even if, oops, accidentally clicked something. Even if we only played 2 of our rares, we did draft 5 of them. So, yeah. I think this deck was fine. It's perfectly solid. It's a little lacking on removal, and that was one of the biggest downsides. These counter spells kind of sucked half the time, and that's why I generally don't love them too much. And I would much rather just have cards that can resolve on-board threats, things that have actually resolved. If these 4 counter spells were swapped out for 4 just efficient removal spells, so we had better ways to deal with the cards like their hover ship in particular, that had hit the board, then I think the deck would be considerably better, and that would be what leads it to like a potential 7-win run. But I don't think we had a ton of great opportunities to find that removal. We did pivot into blue-white somewhat late with these Glimmers, and just didn't see a lot. We got what we could get with Seized from Slumber, Stay Hidden, and Roaring Furnace for hard removal. Even having to run a Bear Trap in the end was a little awkward. But yeah, that's kind of the biggest flaw of the deck. Outside of that, there's a little bit of filler that's not super synergistic, like the Piranha Fly here, maybe like Casper. Clammy Prowler's not a great card, but it's fine synergy with double Glimmer and the Scavenger. Yeah, I don't know. Just a couple things holding this deck back a little bit, holding it down to a 4-3 instead of something better, maybe contention for a trophy run. But perfectly reasonable run today at 1,400 gems and 3 packs of Duskmourn, a House of Horror. But that's going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below, and if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.